G'day. Well, this week, very exciting week. I've gone from Exmouth all the way just about to Port Hedland. So I've gone Exmouth to Old Onslow, camping by the river. That was like a holiday camp. It was absolutely outstanding. And from there I've covered 3 rivers all the way up. We had little pools where you could swim and just chill. That was Fortescue River, Maitland River and Yule River, which is where I'm at the moment. Oh, did I mention about my new TV show? Well, if I didn't, the first show's already been on. It's part of a series, and the second one will be on this Wednesday night. For all the details, have a look down in the description. Anywho, let's go. Sadly, I'm standing in front of the old Onslow jail. Now, this was established in 1893 and used mostly for Aboriginals at the time. And they were held here under the Masters and Servants Act, which, I mean, it says it all. It's sad to think that one human could treat another human in such a way. You see on the floor here the steel rings. Now, those steel rings were used to shackle the prisoners. And inside the actual prison themselves, they're about 2.5 metres wide by about 3 metres long. So about the size of a queen-size bed was where they were kept in jail. And this little section here that I'm showing you is the exercise yard with no roof. Now what they did was they put broken glass all around the top so that if someone was foolish enough, they would cut themselves on the way out. I've often wondered about the various date palms around these places. Looks all very exotic, and it's not part of the natural environment. Turns out the cameleers, who are mostly Afghans, would chew their dates, throw out the pips, and every now and then a pip would germinate and grow into a date palm. Ever since I left Exmouth, these termite mounds keep turning up, and for the life of me I can't help but think they look like profiteroles. So it feels like I'm in profiterole country. You're right, I need to calm down a little. So I've just pulled off the main road. I've come down to a little place called Onslow, Old Onslow it's called. Old Onslow town maybe. And yeah, it's not a very well guarded secret because there was probably about 10 or so caravans here parked by the river. Outstanding place. Reminds me a little bit of say Mildura or something like that. Quite warm in the temperature. And the only sort of reservation I've got is the fact that this grass here is very, very tall. And I don't know about the WA thing about snakes, but I'm always wary of tall grass, hot days, where there's going to be a little slippery. Anywho, I digress. But check out how beautiful this little river is. It's outstanding. And there's no limit. I can just camp here for a month or so, but I won't. Good morning, top of the morning to you. Well, it's I'm up at the crack of dawn. I wanted to beat all the other tourists. I discovered this little sort of nook and cranny right by the river. So the majority of the people who are staying with their caravans and camper trailers are probably 1 kilometre and then up to 3 kilometres down the riverside. But this one just had its own little driveway. It was on the corner of the river. It just seemed to have everything. And when I went to bed last night, I thought, if I get up early enough And I scoot down, and it wasn't easy getting the caravan down here because it was lurching and doing all sorts of things. And I was pretty sure the caravan could take it, but I don't know what about all the stuff inside, the pots and pans. And I know they're supposed to be in cupboards, but I was a tad lazy. But anyway, that's not important. So here I am just about to have breakfast. It is a glorious day. And as I said, I'm on the corner of the river, just about to get into a top day. Well, I'm standing on the riverbank of Ashburton River. This runs for quite some distance. It's just near Onslow, and it's a magnificent area, and we're very, very fortunate. I'm actually at 5 Mile Pool. We're very fortunate in the sense that all of this area is Miaree Station, and we're actually on the station, but the owner, who is Andrew Tiggy Forrest, has given us the permission to actually stay here, and it really is magnificent. It's interesting, I've just read some of the history of the entire station. It's just the most enthralling story. Well, my little holiday by the river has just come to an end. I've finally got my latest video, managed to get it up online, which is great. Now I've got just over a week to cool things down, head up a little bit closer to Karratha. Well, here I am at yet another outstanding free camp, which is about 30 kilometres out of Karratha, and well worth the call in. It is 24-hour stopover, but try and get here early in the morning, because if you get here pretty much after lunchtime, you won't get in. There are a couple of absolutely outstanding little driveways down right by the river. However, you need a pretty serious four-wheel drive, and probably unlikely you'll get a caravan down there. Just thought I'd mention this is some train footage. Now, the backstory for that was someone said you really should go down to Millstream. So I drove 100 kilometres down there, found out I couldn't camp, was all fully booked, and then on my way back I've decided to pull over, very tired, pulled over the side of the road, and where I was probably 50 metres from a railway track. Thought, oh yeah, I quite like the romance of the train rattling past, and that'd be fun. I didn't quite get the gist of it, because apparently it's the main route for Rio Tinto going up to pick up their iron ore and then taking it back from their iron ore. And 3 diesel locomotives and probably 100 carriages, maybe 1 kilometre long, takes a fair while, makes a lot of rattle and noise as it passes your caravan. And that happened every 15 minutes for the entire night. So it was a fairly long night. Good thing about the Pilbara is, if you're coming back from Millstream, is all of the hills look as though they're like a choc mint. So it looks as though they've got a green spearmint kind of chocolate over the mountain with little bits of chocolate popping up all over the place. So really quite outstanding and beautiful area. And that's the Pilbara. Standing in front of Red Dog, also known as the Pilbara Wanderer. It's quite a history with the dog. Basically, he was originally owned by a guy called Cole Cummings, and at one point in time, the two of them got separated, and Red Dog seemed to wander all around the Pilbara area, basically trying to find his owner, which was Cole. He was originally also called Tally Ho. And anyway, Red Dog then found his way to a guy called John Brisonelli, I think it is. John was a bus driver, and again he befriended Red Dog, and they wandered again all around the countryside. And Red Dog went from various owners to owners. At one stage he was owned by or looked after by a vet, and the vet patched him up all the various cuts and scratches and ailments he had. And then tragically, right at the end of period of time, after going through lots and lots of owners, and all the Pilbara, a lot of the Pilbara area people knew of Red Dog, he took some live bait and ended up dying from that. But yeah, great story, Red Dog here in the Pilbara. I'm at Dampier, and this is the big terminal here where they load the ships with the iron ore. Rio Tinto use it here, and the ships they have up to 16 ships a week are loaded, and when they're emptying the carriages, they can empty them and load up about 10,000 tonnes per hour. Pretty impressive port, but this is as close as I can get, so hope you enjoy that. Yeah, it's quite a major port. They also ship out salt here as well. So here's a random tip for you. When you're releasing the caravan from the car, whether you've got just a normal tow ball, or in my case a D35, it's a good idea to leave the chains on in case the van rolls away. The other thing is, when you've chocked the wheel, so if it's on a fairly level, not that sort of slope, fairly level, chock back in front of a single wheel, back in front of a single wheel, and then when you're jacking halfway, just before it releases, go back and kick the chocks so that they're more locked into the tyres. Because what can happen is, as you jack up, the distance between the tyre and the wheel chock can actually differ, so that when you do release it, it can, you know, that sort of distance. Doesn't look far, but if the caravan gets momentum and takes off down the road, not a good feeling. So I'm just about to release it. I've done all those things I talked about, and now I'll do the rest of the winding up. Yep. Oh, you see that? What a hard starter. It rolled, even with the chocks chocked in. And you'll notice that I didn't have the chains on. Please leave the chains on. Here's a dangerous thing that I do, but it's probably not a bad idea. You could do it with a piece of cardboard, just to be sure that the top of the hitch is released from the ball, or the D35 in my case. If you're sure everything's stable, as I say, you probably use a piece of cardboard. I usually just run my hand underneath the top of it and try to make certain it's clear of the ball or clear of whatever. Mine's not clear yet, so still got to take it up. Now the reason I do it, if I don't, and I think I'm clear and I drive away, I could still have the van slightly hitched and pull the van down the road. Today I must be on a fair angle because it's taken a fair while to get it up to be clear. Yeah, it's clear. Oh, use a piece of cardboard to go under there to make certain it's clear. And there you go. Okay, that wraps up the week from Exmouth all the way up to Yule River or Yule Creek. Oh, did I mention my new TV show? If I hadn't, all the details are down in the description below. So yeah, Exmouth all the way to Yule Creek, just outstanding, all free accommodation, which was great. A nice little offset for the expense of Exmouth. Lots of great places, lots of places to swim, sit by the river, contemplate life, beautiful. If you found this video useful, helpful and or entertaining, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, now might be the opportunity. And if you think the video is worth sharing, that too would be great. Until next time, this is Paul Wheel Drive, signing off.